Once, around Twelfth Night, a peasant woman went off to look for her sheep, to butcher, and to use their wool to make cloth, to keep her warm for the rest of the winter. Well, she looked all through the fields and through the woods, but she could not see the sheep, for they had gone up to the high pasture lands, up near the mountains, and she had not the heart or spirit, or perhaps the courage to follow them. And so it was that she found herself, towards the end of the day, returning through the little wood just in front of her house, and there she found Sleepy, a great brown bear, and she looked at the bear, and it seemed fast asleep, snoring. So she got out her sharp knife, by which she had meant to take and kill sheep, and cut off its hind leg, laughing as she did it, at the thought that the bear would lie there, bleeding to death in the wood, while she had meat to eat and wool to knit. And then she went home. She built a massive fire, butchered the leg, put it as a stew, thinking to herself, "This will keep me for many, many days." And then she put the wool of the bear, its hair, upon her spindle, and started to spin it. But it was strange. The fire that she lit seemed not to make the room hotter, but colder. It grew colder and colder, as if a storm, an ice storm, was brewing outside. And she looked outside, and it was a quiet evening, and not over cold for the time of year. And she went back and prodded the meat of the stew, and it was quite raw. And then she carried on trying to spin. But it was strange. As she put the hair together, it fell apart, and the more she span, the more it fell apart, until, at the end of an hour, nothing was spun, and the room was ice cold, and the meat was raw. And then she heard something outside, a snuffling, growling sound that merged with a sound like wind. The bear was coming. She hid as best she could in the cupboard. When the bear blew the door open and strode with a shadow leg into the room, the constituents leapt up from pot and spindle onto its leg again, forming around the hard black shadow by which it had walked a true leg. And then it looked around with a yellow jaundiced eye to the great cupboard where the woman was, and in a mighty bound was there, and with a knife far sharper than the one the woman used, cut off her head, and took it home for its stew.